What kind of love makes a stadium fall silent before it erupts into tears? The lights dimmed without warning. Thousands of fans who had gathered for a glamorous evening of stars and celebration suddenly felt the atmosphere shift. The laughter softened. The cheers faded into a curious hush. On that stage, known for spectacle and scripted moments, something unscripted was about to unfold. Something raw, something real. If you are still watching, subscribe. Let's get the story started as the world of your favorite celebrity unfolds.
Stay tuned.
Lee Min hosted alone under a single spotlight, a microphone in his hand, his usual composed charisma replaced by a quiet, almost vulnerable calm. For years the world had known him as the untouchable heartthrob, the global icon, the leading man whose smile could carry an entire drama. But in that moment, he did not look like a superstar. He looked like a man holding a story in his heart. And then, in the front row, Song Hye Kyo. Her presence had already sent whispers through the crowd. Cameras had caught her earlier, elegant and serene, applauding for other performers. But no one expected the night to bend toward her. No one expected her to become the center of a moment that would soon echo across social media, fan forums, and late-night conversations around the world. Lee Min-ho lifted the microphone, and before a single note escaped his lips, he looked toward her. Not a passing glance. Not a casual acknowledgement. It was the kind of look that carried history, affection, and unspoken words. The giant screens magnified it, and the audience felt it instantly. A ripple of realization moved through the venue. Then he began to sing. It was not a performance polished for charts or awards. His voice carried warmth rather than perfection. Each lyric felt chosen, as if it held private meaning. A song about gratitude. About meeting someone who changes the color of your world. About finding calm in a chaotic life. The melody floated through the hall, and the crowd listened not with excitement, but with reverence. Halfway through, the cameras found Song Hye Kyo again. Her expression had changed. The calm composure of a seasoned actress gave way to something more human, more tender. Her eyes shimmered under the lights. She pressed her lips together in a small, restrained smile, the kind people wear when they are trying to hold back a wave of emotion. Fans would later replay those seconds again and again, analyzing every blink, every breath. Those who were there said you could feel the shift. Strangers glanced at each other with knowing looks. Some covered their mouths. Others were already wiping tears. Because whether you believed in their rumored story or not, whether you followed every headline or none at all, the sincerity in that moment was undeniable. As the final chorus approached, Lee Min-ho's voice softened even more. He did not move across the stage. He did not dance. He simply stood there, singing as if the entire arena had disappeared and only one person remained. The last note lingered in the air like a confession. When the song ended, there was a heartbeat of silence. Then the hall exploded into applause, but it was not the usual roaring cheer. It was layered with emotion, with the sound of people who had just witnessed something intimate in a public space. Lee Min-ho bowed slightly, a shy smile crossing his face, and for a brief second he looked relieved, as if he had finally said something he had been carrying for a long time. Song Hye Kyo stood and applauded. Nothing dramatic. Nothing staged. Just a genuine standing ovation, her eyes still bright. That simple act fueled 1,000 interpretations. To fans, it was not just applause. It was an answer without words. By the next morning, clips had traveled across the world. Headlines called it a serenade. Fans called it a love letter. Skeptics called it coincidence. But everyone agreed on one thing. It was unforgettable. Why did it touch so many people? Maybe because in an industry built on scripts and retakes, people are hungry for moments that feel unscripted. Maybe because seeing two icons, often placed on pedestals, reveal ordinary human emotion reminds us that fame does not erase the heart. Or maybe because deep down, everyone longs for a love bold enough to stand under bright lights and still feel sincere. In the end, no official statement followed. No grand confirmation. The two stars returned to their schedules, their projects, their carefully managed public lives. But that night remained, replayed in millions of screens and memories. A man singing, a woman listening, a crowd holding its breath, and a question that still lingers long after the music fades. Was it just a song for the audience? Or was it a song meant for one person, finally heard by the world? And yet the story did not end when the applause faded. Because moments like that do not disappear when the lights go out. They travel. They live in the quiet spaces after the noise, in the reflections people carry home with them, in the late-night replays watched under dim bedroom lights. Backstage, the world returned to its usual rhythm. Managers spoke in hushed tones. Staff moved quickly with schedules in hand. Doors opened and closed. Congratulations were exchanged. Smiles were worn like polished armor. But those who passed close enough to the two stars that night would later say there was a different air around them. A softness. A gravity. He had sung in front of thousands before. She had stood before cameras her entire adult life. Yet this was different. This was not performance energy. It was personal energy trying to exist in a public space. Some say he chose that song at the last minute. Others claim it had been planned for weeks. But the truth of preparation matters less than the truth of delivery. The way his voice steadied on certain lines. The way his gaze never wandered far from where she sat. The way her expression shifted from polite attention to quiet emotion. Fans began to build narratives as fans always do. They connected past interviews, old photos, brief interactions at events, sentences spoken years ago that suddenly seemed prophetic. Every small coincidence became a thread in a larger tapestry of possibility. But beyond speculation, something deeper had happened that night. For a few minutes, two people known as legends in their field reminded everyone that they were also just a man and a woman capable of feeling deeply. In the days that followed, the clip became a kind of refuge for romantics. People returned to it after long days. Couples shared it with each other. Some viewers admitted it made them believe in quiet love again, the kind that does not shout but still fills a room. There is a reason the moment resonated. It was not about celebrity, not about status, not about drama headlines. It was about vulnerability in a world that often rewards distance. It was about expressing feeling without a press release, without a script, without certainty of how it would be received. Imagine the courage it takes to sing from the heart when every note will be analyzed. Imagine the composure it takes to receive that gesture while the world watches your reaction frame by frame. Perhaps that is why it felt cinematic. Not because it was staged like a movie, but because real emotion often looks more powerful than fiction. And somewhere, in the privacy neither cameras nor fans can reach, there may have been a conversation. A quiet acknowledgement. A shared understanding of what that moment meant, or did not mean. That part belongs only to them. The public only saw the surface. The song. The smile. The tears in the crowd. But the true story of that night lives in the silence between two people who understand the weight of being seen by millions and still daring to feel something genuine. Years from now, fans may forget the exact lyrics he sang. They may forget the date, the venue, the event name. But they will remember the feeling. The feeling that for a brief moment, under bright lights and endless cameras, love or something close to it stood on a stage and did not hide. And the question will continue to echo softly in the hearts of those who watched. If a single song can move thousands to tears, what must it mean to the one person it was meant for? Because sometimes the most powerful confessions are not spoken. They are sung.